So Nina Turner has recently come under fire on Twitter by the Democrats for telling the truth about the Democratic National Convention. And she even threw some shots at some of y'all's favorites. Let's take a look.
Wiping people out left and right, whether literally or through their livelihoods. We have an opportunity, if it is taken, to show that the Democratic Party will be the one, not to answer to the corporate interests. There are 12 billionaires, Anderson, in this country who are at $1 trillion. They control $1 trillion worth of wealth. Meanwhile, back on Main Street, people are catching all kinds of hell. So we people who are going to stand up for the poor, the working poor, the better, a barely middle class in this country, and it's bigger than having BLM blocks behind you or quoting or mentioning Ella Baker's name. It is living up to those high ideas and the principles by which those freedom fighters fought for. This is the time to do that. People need it.
I'm wondering what you thought of Senator Sanders' remarks embracing Joe Biden, clearly asking his supporters to get Joe Biden elected.
I mean, the senator was clear. He's a man of his word. He said it in 2016. He said it again in 2020. So the senator is doing what he does. But he created a movement. He was a spark, and the movement is the fire. And so the movement doesn't change. The notion that we need Medicare for all does not change. The notion that we need to legalize cannabis and take it off of Schedule 1 because it has ruined so many lives, particularly African-American lives with the war on drugs. Anderson, that doesn't change. The need to have college for all, that doesn't change. Environmental justice, see, none of those core fundamental issues change because it was never about a personality. It was more about the mission. And so progressives are still on the mission, understanding very clearly that we got two dragons we got to slay. We got to slay the dragon of neo-fascism and slay the dragon of neoliberalism, and the progressive movement is here for it.
Nina Turner, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Now, Auntie, why you gotta do it like that? Now, Elizabeth Warren has actually caught heat from Nina Turner for being a fake progressive a lot of times. Lots of subliminal disses have been put out where she calls into question the credentials of Elizabeth Warren, especially because she abandoned the progressive movement in 2016. Nina Turner articulated on several occasions with statements clearly directed at Elizabeth Warren that Warren was merely co-opting the message to reap the political rewards. And of course, Warren proved her to be true. And so I'm actually excited. I always get excited when I see Nina willing to call out Elizabeth Warren, someone who the progressive movement for a very long time deemed untouchable. They deemed her untouchable by progressives. And even then, before she stole the delegates effectively from Bernie Sanders, Nina Turner made it clear that Elizabeth Warren is not representative of the progressive movement. Now, moving forward, obviously, there's the elephant in the room, which is just how right Nina is about the Democratic National Convention and how clearly, if the Democrats want any chance of winning, I would suggest, and I'm sure you all would agree, that they listen to the criticisms of Nina Turner. Nina Turner is not merely, or formerly a co-chair of Bernie Sanders' campaign, former senator from Ohio, former president of Our Revolution, an all-around brilliant woman, but she is someone whom the progressive movement confides in. See, the progressive movement can tend to be splintered in many different factions, but where all those factions agree is with Nina Turner. That's like the line. Like, everyone asks her to run because not only do they feel that she could give anybody a run for their money, but she's principled. So they're not worried about how she would behave when she gets to Washington. Now, a person who has such a loud microphone, because obviously you or I would not get invited on CNN. It's actually kind of surprising that they invited her on. They must not know about her support for the Movement for People's Party, but I digress. For her to have the microphone that she has, saying the things that she is saying, representing the movement that she discussed in the clip, wouldn't you think this would be the time to listen if you were Joe Biden's staff, to listen if you were a Democrat? Last I checked, only 3% of Bernie's donors have donated to Joe Biden's campaign. That is unsustainable. You are almost guaranteed a victory with those type of numbers. Last I checked, just here in Florida, we had ridiculously low turnout. And you can argue, of course, that COVID caused a low turnout. But even with the mail-in ballots, even with the general election, there was still a low turnout. And we generally know what that means. It means the Republicans win when there's a low turnout in a purple swing state. COVID is going to be here. It's not going to disappear next month. What, two months of the election? I'm sure that they will make sure that we are constantly talking about and thinking about COVID. And so because of that, you can expect low voter turnout like we have been saying, like I have been saying on this channel forever. And historically speaking, when there's low voter turnout, when you give, people, it's a pandemic. And in the middle of a pandemic, they are not intelligent enough to say, man, we actually got to give people something to vote for rather than giving people something to vote against. Because I don't know about you, but I'm not risking my life in the middle of a pandemic to be around a bunch of potentially sick people just to vote against someone else. That's not how human beings work. At the end of the day, the DNC, the convention, was nothing but a bunch of platitudes. Like Nina said in her video, you can throw a bunch of BLM blocks behind you. Doesn't mean you actually believe Black Lives Matter. When people were screaming defund the police, they said, or you know what, here's a better idea. How about we give them $300 million and then make one the vice president of the United States of America? You're not listening. In fact, not only are you not listening to the progressive movement, you're doing the opposite of what the progressive movement has requested of you at this point. And Nina is putting you on game, because if Nina is seeing it, that means everyone else is seeing it. And you can choose to believe it or not, but if you continue to ignore progressives, you're going to face the consequences. And that's basically what Nina Turner is saying in this clip. You can't turn around and then blame Nina. Can't turn around and blame the Green Party. Can't blame the Libertarian Party. Can't blame us, the independent media. No, you can't even blame Susan Sarandon. Even Susan Sarandon is off limits because we put out a very clear list of our demands. You didn't even try to meet us halfway. And you think that throwing Bernie in our face is somehow going to make people forget about the abysmal failure that the Democratic Party has been as of late. You failed us during the pandemic. You went on a damn vacation as people were about to be evicted from their homes. Nina is trying to warn you. And if you don't heed her warnings, then you only have yourself to blame. Because she's just relaying what we're saying. That's all. She's not saying anything slick to a can of oil. We already knew how we felt. We've been articulating this on social media, in real life, in the independent media. Nina has been listening. She's trying to tell you. Look at what Ice Cube just came out and said. What's in it for us? Referencing the black voters regarding just the lack of concern for the black vote. The Democratic Convention. After all this Black Lives Matter stuff, right? Celebrities are seeing it. Other politicians are seeing it. Independent media is seeing this. The casual apolitical voter is seeing all of this. So you better start paying attention, or once again, you will have no one else to blame for another preventable loss in November but yourselves. I'd love to know what your thoughts are about this. Like this video, share this video. Like I said, I've started a separate channel trying to break through the algorithms. We're going to do a little experiment. So click on that link in the description if you're not watching this video from that channel. Just click on that. Make sure to subscribe to that channel. We're going to try to get 5,000 subscribers to that channel by the end of this week. Other than that, always remember, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace. Segment of Niko Says Sukasa. Don't forget to like the video and smash that subscribe button. Want access to members only live streams, behind the scenes footage, and other premium content? Well, you can endorse us on Rockman Premium, become a patron through Patreon, or you You can sign up for the MCSC Premium membership through YouTube. All the links are in the description below. But hey, more than anything else,
More than anything else.
More than anything else.
More than anything else.
always remember,
Find your balance.
Find your balance.
Find your balance.
Find your balance. Find your balance.
Find your balance. Find your balance.
Always remember, more than anything else, find your balance.
peace.